Welcome to another episode of the TEFitness and TEFitness Uncut. I'm going to combine this video to promote both TEFitness and TEFitness Uncut and to give you a broad perspective of the difference between the two is that TEFitness do mostly posts that promotes our product right front and center. TEFitness Uncut. What I want to focus on in this video is talking about how important it is um, that we feel about education across the board. And when you hear the word education, uh, do you put it in one big package? When you say education, do you think of school, or do you look at education as a broad phenomenon that you would be obtaining for the rest of your life? So we feel that education is so key to not only gaining some new knowledge for you to use to make your life a lot better, but it's also could actually save your life as well. It can save you time and effort on things that's unnecessary. Um, Look at it like this: the more knowledge you have on a particular subject, the more leverage you have to get things done versus someone who doesn't have the knowledge. And that has promoted the battle between working harder and working smarter. And would you agree that even though working hard has been the pinnacle milestone in American culture, it has created a lot of stress versus those who work smarter and they're able to be stressless. Know, what business are we in? What do we do? Like, what's the whole agenda of T Fitness? And I want to help you out with that. We're actually in the education business. That's what we're in. We're in the education business, and this is for those of you who are teachers out there, whether it's public school or private school or whatever kind of school. Education is vital to any society. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's the United States or if it's any other country in the world. When you have a highly educated society, you develop higher quality products that you don't have to say or try to convince a public that teachers should get paid very well. I look at it from a market standpoint. When you develop a high quality educated society, it's kind of oxymoron to say that teachers are not getting paid enough if the product is delivering a high quality result. Unfortunately, in this country alone, education is not looked at as a vital product in society. Of anything, you will see that everything from infrastructure to the military to anything else is a more desirable product to invest in more than in education. And this is not my opinions. I'm going by this website right here. This is the website from the Department of Education. Those are the numbers versus this page right here is showing you the numbers for other agencies according to annual budgets. So that's the business side that we want to show you, that wherever you put your money into, you are telling yourself that particular purchase is going to produce a certain result, and that purchase you find more important than the other purchases. Does that make any sense? Wherever you direct your funds to, or whatever you direct your budgets to, you find that more valuable than the other purchases that is maybe getting, let's say, less than 5% of your budget. So we wanted to get that out of the way for that, because you're going to need this information as we go along in this video. Again, I mentioned earlier that we're actually in the education business. It's really challenging to readjust and change your daily routines and habits that's sabotaging your goals and desires if you're not mentally equipped with the necessary knowledge and education about your state of mind, body, and soul that can make it easier for you to achieve that goal. I think that the less information, education, and knowledge you allow to come to you regarding your desires, the more harder you have to work in order to try to get what you want. It's not a physical battle you're dealing with here, it's more of a psychological and even spiritual battle you have to tend to in order for the physical world around you to start changing without you lifting even one finger. And we call that leverage, which we're going to tap on later on in this video. So we take education seriously because at the end of the day, that's all we have. It's not about working harder to get the body you really desire. It's about working smarter and using leverage to get there easier. Here's a picture here to show you an example of what we mean by leverage. This is the closest picture we can. You would hear mostly from those who, what the masses like to call the 1%. They use the leverage of their funds and their capital to have others to do particular jobs and tasks for them. Therefore, they're getting more out by doing less, and that's another form of leverage. The term "get the body you deserve" that you hear in a lot of weight loss commercials and ads, it sounds good on the surface, and of course they're tapping to those who want to hear what they want to hear. But when it comes to the business of your mind and body, sometimes hearing that alone can sabotage your desires. First, let's break down that term real quick. I want you guys to take a look at that. Get the body you deserve. Before you get anything you think you deserve, you have to ask yourself, do I really deserve that? When I hear the term deserve, we like to break down words here a little bit to get a better understanding of what it means. It sounds like you're being allowed to get a reward after doing a certain task. To me, this is kind of childish, in a good way, but sometimes depending on the context. When you say, I deserve, we like to break down that word, D, and then look at the word serve. Take a look at that word for a second. Now, this might seem like we're nitpicking on things, but this is very vital for you to know so you see why our products are vital and crucial for your health goals to incorporate. Words are powerful not only to be heard, but they carry lots of weight based on their tune and rhetoric, no pun intended. Now, when you're D'ing, you see the word D? That to us sounds like you're reversing something, like for example, dehumidifier to lower the humidity in the room, or defrost to reverse the freezing point of a dish or entree. Now, when you're serving or you're being served, to us that sounds like you're being pampered with whatever you want. You have a server and they say, hey, I'm at your service, you're being served. Unfortunately, we were trained and indoctrinated to not feel as if we're deserving or to be served without any physical work to deserve the rewards. So in hindsight, you have to do a physical exercise, a physical diet, and a physical body transformation in order to deserve that piece of cake or that slice of pizza. In other words, we were trained to do everything in reverse. We were trained to take the verses of our words, our tongues, and describe our life and our physical bodies and reverse it where it do not serve our own bodies, minds, and souls, but do serve the power elites that control the mega billion-dollar diet and weight loss industries. Now, this is just one of the millions of reasons why the dieting industry is extremely powerful and very profitable on the expense of the mindset of you and I. But we can't put the blame entirely on the weight loss industry, the media and the government. We have to reverse the thought pattern and accept the fact that we took part in this mind-boggling conspiracy also. But good news, the masses will tell you that this huge conspiracy is hard to figure out. But the thing I love about the universe, our creator, is that everything is hard indeed until you ask for the knowledge to know what's happening, and for that revelation of this conspiracy to come to you easily and freely. Keep your mind open to new knowledge and education so that you can use it to your benefit and capitalize on it to get where you want to be. And that's where we come in to deliver that information to you as quickly and easily as possible, and as simple as we can make it so that you can easily digest it, while at the same time equip you, our intelligent client, with that necessary practices and words you can use now to make the process easier. So remember, this whole weight loss and dieting propaganda is all a mind game and nothing more. You know, I must give credit where credit is due. You might call us conspiracy theories, but one thing you can't deny is that most of these conspiracies are affecting you in some way, form, or fashion. Whether you dismiss our information or not, you're here for a reason, and nothing happens by chance or accident. Now, going back to giving credit where it's due, here at TEFitness, we love education, especially the unorthodox education, the kind of education you're not supposed to know about. I love education, we all love education, but the kind of education not available to the public, those are the best ones. On the show InfoWars, Alex Jones, again, we have to give credit where credit is due. The alleged founder and conspiracy theorists use the term because there's a war on for your mind. This cannot be more closer to the truth. The truth is, your mind is so powerful that once you become sovereign and able to think for yourself, you become unstoppable. And certain industries around the world, including here in the US, cannot let that happen. So they've invested so much capital, time, and resources to buy up and influence the country's most prominent and influential media companies at the time, ranging from newspapers to television networks to even radio stations. Their purpose was revealed under a hearing by Congress under what we call this right here. We highly recommend you guys to do your research on this particular situation, which is a declassified document from this organization on the revelation that the government was controlling the information delivered to the public. So ever since this has been happening, the warfare, the battleground started right in the minds of millions of people in the United States. The goal was to manipulate their perception of the world around them for an agenda of generating profits for the companies they control. So the war on your mind has been going on for not only decades, but even thousands of years before the U.S. was even created. Like this guy right here, I'm going to show you a picture of him. He once said, the war is not fought in the battlefield, it's fought in the mind. Talk about a complete mind fuck, huh? If you only knew. This is vital for you to know when you're doing a permanent solution for your body, regardless of your goals, because your body obeys your mind, and your body responds by how you deeply feel about yourself, no matter what weight loss program you spend your money on. If you do not have a clear, objective goal, a vision, and a desire to learn about yourself, fad diets will always look better and cheaper time and time again, while delivering the same old, stale, more depressing results. Food is information, and that's all. It's information picked up from the seedling to the dinner plate. So when you really think about it, the single most important factor in our planet is the seed that develops into a crop that provides food and nourishment for our bodies to use as energy. When this nucleus gets compromised, it jeopardizes the entire life cycle of everything, including your overall health goal. What has happened since the 50s, and possibly before that, is the food cycle in this country alone has been compromised. No matter what diet program or diet foods you choose to buy, if they haven't invested in the quality and the integrity of the seed, you're beating the whole point of even reaching your goal in the first place. The war on your mind starts with the seed. It starts when that seed is compromised with chemicals and solvents that depletes the vital information, which we call nutrients, critical for your body to listen to and understand. This information is like codes that creates the most powerful defense in the world, your immune system, that can use to do its job for your body. The moment your immune system is breached, it starts to attack itself. Therefore, your gut responds to these attacks by affecting the way you process this information. This is where you're no longer getting nourished, but you're becoming malnourished. This cuts off vital information from gut to brain, which are actually connected, has been scientifically proven, and which are two interconnected networks working together for your benefit. They don't get enough credit on how hard they work behind the scenes to make sure your body is operating efficiently while using energy when necessary. So you basically have a self-sustained cleaning oven that's energy efficient. But unfortunately, they have been trained through compromised seeds to not defend you against toxins, but trained to attack itself. Therefore, it's distracted from keeping you healthy. This gives toxins the free and unrestricted access to your organs. This is where visceral fat comes in, which also develops abundance of more fat cells, which justify why your body expands more, in which you start to believe you're, well, fat. You see what this is going here? You see what they did there? They compromise your seeds. These seeds' ecosystem, which we call the soil, can't sustain the damage done by the herbicides, the pesticides, and sides that you want to continue with. This ecosystem breaks down and your crop's nutrients is depleted. These crops are food for your mind. You take in these crops and you're eating a nutrient bankrupt shell with no nutritional value whatsoever. In other words, from a dollar for dollar value, you're spending $1 and getting back $5 in debt in return. The more nutritionally bankrupt you become, the more money you're going to fork out with nothing mentally or physically to show for it. But you continue to buy the cheapest yet most attractive diet fat out there to do it again and again and again. Talking about an insane asylum is an understatement. Now you see why the diet industry is worth billions of dollars in a society that is one of the least healthiest, yet one of the heaviest societies in the world. They have a fat payday to show for it, and we just have a bunch of fat asses to show for it. But going back to the takes two to tango scenario, we not only did this to ourselves, but we continue to do it even after you get this knowledge. We have to now take the blame completely away from the big giant diet industry because you now know. However, even after gaining this knowledge, there are those who will still justify why they choose not to invest in their health now. They'd say our products are too expensive. These are the same people more likely complaining about the wage and wealth gap. Here's a breakdown of what our products are. We are blessed to have an arsenal of talented and latest technology, information, and research available to us at real time regarding the quality of our raw materials. These raw materials has to be grown somewhere that someone tends to and grow. These are hard-working, family-owned and operated farms who care as much about the planet, nature, and your body as much as we do. Unfortunately, they are an endangered species. Family farms growing wholesome ingredients are on life support because of the ignorance of myself in the past and most who put quantity over quality over times. We are guilty of the reasons they're going out of business and major corporations moving in and jeopardizing that quality. So we decided to do something about it by giving back and investing in their products as not only an apology for our purchase decision creating the Monsantos of the world, but returning their legacy back to them 100-fold by getting into this business. Most people talk, but we felt the impact would be more stronger if we actually walked it. Going back to the food industry and the government that keeps them relevant, you have to understand these industries among to create their goal, their agenda is to create a docile, dumbed down, illiterate society, and they have plenty of armies to fight for them, and they come in all shapes and sizes, but they all have one thing in common. Just like the military, their soldiers will say attention and sir, yes sir, and negative for an incorrect answer. This food industry foot soldiers all say in unison, your products are too expensive. I can't afford it. I can get the same stuff at Walmart for blank, blank, blankety blank. I mean, it never fails. Try it out for yourself. You try it out and see what happens. It's pretty funny if you think about it. Going back to the family farms, they deserve a living. They deserve a living, viable, sustainable, and profitable wage to support themselves and their families, as well as a wholesome operation. And I will never, ever apologize to a bunch of cheapos for this agenda. Then, these ingredients move on to our no compromise facilities for quality control and use Mother Nature and Creator approved methods to keep the ingredients as pure and clean while adapting a final product that's easy to use, sustainable, yet extremely delicious, satisfying, and that's actually speak to your body language it was created to overstand in the first place. Our scientists, engineers, techies, customer service reps, extremely talented, including our truck drivers, farmers, research and development crew. Each man and woman on our team is on a mission. They generated their vision of not only seeing their families healthy, wealthy, and wise, but invest their talents in a product that passed that vision onto you and your family. The question is, do you and they? Only you can answer that question. The second question is, what price did you already pay that led you to disappointing results in life journey? And third question, what value are you willing to put on something that will help you finally get to your goal now? Every person from farm to the palm of your hands deserve to be compensated handsomely after you realize how powerful and valuable you'd feel after using the most powerful nutrition on the planet. When you buy our products, you're making a statement to not only your body through your mind, but you're also making one powerful statement with this action back in the 50s. You're telling the food industry that compromised your food, you're aware of their game and marketing tactics, and you're not going to tolerate it anymore. Unfortunately, here in the States, the food and drug industry own this country through your alphabet soups, which is nothing short of an interest group disguised as federal agencies. They do not and never will work for you or anyone as long as you're broke, stressed, overworked, and sick. Would you work for someone like that? Could they even remember even paying you? It's risky. So we want you to see the obvious that politicians, your senators, congress members, even the POTUS does not, will not, and never will work for you as a citizen. It's over. Done. Case closed. Cha-ching. This is what we want you to get in your head. The most important bill that can ever pass in this country is a dollar bill between you and the food you choose to buy that determines the health of you and your family. Once you pass that bill, the equal and opposite reaction is on your court. We both cannot criticize the food industry after this happens. We voted for them again with our dollars. When you choose to buy products advertised on TV, you voted for the media companies and the food industries that control them, who paid millions to catch your attention. This same money was redirected from the same family farms we are working hard to bring back into the hands of these people. We must take responsibility for the information we bought that led us to a sick nation. We have to take responsibility for that. Own that responsibility. And then do something about it now. The war, according to them, is the war starts in the soil, it is born in the seed, it is fought in the mind, and is won in the pills. But the war, according to you and I, the war starts in the soil, it is born in the seed, it is fought in the mind, but is always won in the crown. Put on your crown, brother and sister. It's time to use the proper nutrition to build the kingdom of your mind. Thank you for listening. This is TEFitness coming at you. Namaste.